UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel.
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? It's the battle of the Titans, the best keyboard tappers in the land. They've all been training for this moment. Who's getting stuck in the function sand? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? Excel on the shirt. Leanne is.
Can't win because she's not resident in the UK, but can take part and have a lot of fun.
Jack is on the hunt. Will
London.
be her new peak. It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? Excel on the shirt. Leanne is on a win streak.
Not in the UK, she's not.
Jack is on the hunt.
She's actually organising this competition, but it doesn't matter.
Will Vegas be her new peak? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin?
Hey folks, we're here with the humblest Excel user you've ever met, and Giles Mail. Hello Giles, how are we doing?
Oh, good intro. I hope everybody liked the song because we genuinely couldn't think of a better song, so just dubbed over the existing one. Cheers for that.
There we go, excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us. I can already see lots of people in the chat. And welcome to the inaugural event of the UK chapter of the Excel World Championship. What a great turnout on our first one. So thank you all so much. It was a great turnout, wasn't it, Giles?
Loved it. It's we were really excited to get this underway. Amazing to see so many people take part. I hope you enjoyed the case. There will generally be very British themes that run throughout this season. So yeah, buses. Who doesn't like buses?
I know, who doesn't like buses? We've been waiting forever for a UK chapter, and now we've had 3 cases basically turn up at once, just like the UK buses. I think we should probably start by going over to the case introduction video you recorded, just to refresh everyone about what they've been doing, rejig their memories from 30 minutes ago.
Okay. Welcome to round 1 of the Excel UK Championship 2025. This case is called At Liverpool Street Bus Station, Nobody Can Hear You Scream. It's a case designed by Harry Watson. You will be dealing with data all about buses in the UK. I hope you are as excited as we are. You have 5 bonus levels to work through and 7 full levels of increasing difficulty as you work through them. Level 7 in particular, I can warn you, is quite a big step up in difficulty. You have tabs with extra data on them. There is a tab with some information about all of the buses that leave Liverpool Street Station during the day. You have a postcodes tab with information about the areas that the buses are going to, and even more information about the areas the buses are going to, which you will need for that hard level 7. That's it. A case all about buses. You have 30 minutes. Good luck. We will see you on the other side. Switch.
There we go. Thank you, Giles, for talking everyone through that. I hope you all enjoyed it. I can see so much conversation in the chat already. We've got people from all over the world, not just the UK. We've got Brazil, Bora, Brazil. We've got Anders in here. people from all over. Fantastic to see what a turnout. Should we talk a little bit about this case and how we found it?
Yeah, also, we should talk about how you just pronounce Brazil. I feel like I've been calling it the wrong thing my entire
Brazil.
life.
Too much time there during the World Cup, I think. There we go.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the case.
Yeah, let's pop on over to having a look at the case.
I mean, you're
So
going to
we
share your
had,
screen.
yeah, we had 7 levels to this case. Hang on, my screen's just
Yeah.
not quite sharing. But yeah, 7 levels to this case and 5 bonuses, and quite a ramp up in difficulty towards the end. It'll be interesting to see how many people got all the way through.
Yep.
I know we both had a little bit of trouble with that final level ourselves, and some trouble with some of the early levels. It was not easy anywhere, I don't think. How did you find it overall?
I had an absolute tantrum on level 7, which won't be a huge surprise to some people in the players group. But level 7 sent me into a proper full-on tantrum. So yeah, thanks for that, Harry.
Yeah, well, yeah, Harry Watson right here, the case author. We're going to bring Harry on in a few minutes' time once we've had a chance to collect our own thoughts on the case, to hear from the case author himself. So we'll come back to these bonuses at the end because they are related to the levels, but not directly. But we'll get a little bit more of the scene setting. And this whole thing was set in Liverpool Street bus station. So it's called at Liverpool Street bus station. Nobody can hear you scream. Hopefully, people are hearing us stream at the very least. And
Elliott! Oh, you're a natural. My God, you just make that up on the spot.
I'm sitting on it for weeks, Giles. What are you talking about? Oh. Level 1, trying to get the numbers out. I'm probably going to upset you and say that my approach was a regex-based approach. I think there's way simpler ways of doing this.
It doesn't upset me. I just used text before, but I'm just starting to dip into regex. So I got as far as the kind of quotation, square brackets, 0 to 9 plus square brackets, but I couldn't, it was just returning one character. And I was like, oh God, I don't know it enough to know how to pull out all the characters that are numbers. You can tell me what that is. What did I do wrong?
You need a modifier, so a plus or an asterisk to say that you want more than one.
I did that.
I think.
Okay.
You did that? Well, it just doesn't like you. Regex just doesn't like you. It just doesn't like some people. It's the way it goes. I can see in the chat we've already got some comments on London buses being foreign to people even in the north of the UK, let alone people outside the UK. And Gabe saying that in Brazil, the timetables are rough approximations and shouldn't be trusted. I've certainly had that feeling in more rural parts of the UK as well, Gabe. So there's you're not alone there. Right. Level 2 was buses coming in 3s, like we said a moment ago with these cases. Was that a similar approach for you? Did you go with Harry's hint of text split?
I did go with Harry's hint, but again, this threw up one of those kind of steps where it doesn't work that I keep hitting, which is you text versus essentially data types that you end up with, and having to convert the text back to numbers. So whenever something doesn't work, my first thought now is, have I got a number that's not a number, and do I need to add a ×1 or a double hyphen? Is that you typing? Okay, great.
It's me typing. So just showing what you're talking about there, it's going to return, if you do text split, which nicely splits it out into those 3 components, you'd think you were there because you could just wrap this in a min, but it gives 0 because it's treating them as text, and you're talking about either doing 0 plus, which converts everything to a number, or 1 times. I'm a big supporter of doing nothing, things that do nothing. When I was a maths teacher in a previous life, getting kids to do nothing, to transform things into things that looked more familiar, was very useful. I can see people, there's a few regex masters in the chat, by the way, Giles. We'll have to go back to this chat later on, to multiple approaches to regex.
We should talk about the fact that you were a teacher as well. I feel like you need to give context to that life advice. Is that what you said to the kids? Do nothing, guys, you'll be fine.
Yeah, my advice to anyone doing GCSE or A-level maths was do nothing. And sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't
sound
work.
like a great teacher.
I mean, my advice to myself was also do nothing. I would just turn up and talk about...
Matt, no, you keep talking. I'm going to get another Guinness. It's Saturday evening.
Giles is on the real Guinness. I am here on a Guinness-shaped mug. While he's gone, Shall we have a look at level 3? Level 3, you were looking for the bus leaving at the particular time and where it was going. My approach to this, probably unsurprising to literally everyone watching, was XLOOKUP. It is my favourite function. Giles is already laughing at the fact it's my favourite function. I'm assuming you went with an XLOOKUP approach to level 3?
Yeah, exactly the same. No surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise. Looking up the number in this sheet and then returning, not even that column, was it? The time
Time, wasn't
column.
it? Yeah.
And returning the destination. I actually turned this into an Excel table when I was solving it. Did you go along that same route?
Yeah, but I caught myself out the first time I tried this because it's got the extra rows at the top. So I quickly realized if you just do Control T, the way I did it at least, it wanted to pick up the top rows.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, which was a problem. So yes, I did convert it to a table, but I just had to be a bit careful.
Yeah, there's always little tricky bits. I think this is true even in real life, isn't it? You often get data where there's little tricky things like that going on, just to be wary of. The
Definitely.
postcode lottery was the next one. So for each postcode, you needed to find the first bus scheduled to go there. I'll be honest. Again, I just did 2 XLOOKUPs. I got the XLOOKUP from here to get the postcode into this column, and then because XLOOKUP turns the first result, and because these are already sorted by time, that did all the work for me.
Yeah, I did the same, but I think, we're expecting quite a lot of new players in these local chapters that won't have competed before. So even that, like getting used to the fact that, you've got to manage your data effectively. And what's the quickest way to do this? Well, you need to add the data that you need to the first table, and then it's just a simple second lookup if you've done that right. So yeah, but we shouldn't underplay like some people may not have tried that before today's battle.
Absolutely. I mean, there's all sorts of approaches that would work. Whether you're going old school with the VLOOKUP, whether you're going down a more manual route as well, there's all sorts of ways of approaching these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Level 5 then was starting to get quite tricky because we're now doing stuff with time as well as weird formatting and trying to go back and forth between the two. Each of the times in the bus timetable is listed with 4 numbers, the first 2 being the hour and the second 2 being the minutes. It's nice that that was consistent. It did mean that the processing, whether you were going for something like text to columns or left, or whether you were going something more modern on that approach, it was at least one approach fits all, which was nice. And then trying to compare that to the hours. How are you finding that?
Exactly as you described. So I just used, I think from memory, I used left because you knew that the length of the times would be consistent. And then just go back to the question. I'm trying to remember. One of the levels lent naturally then on. Oh no! So this was how many? So you could do a sum ifs from here, I think. Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a good shout. So you just list out what the hour was for each of these. I'm a big supporter in these competitions. I think some people have seen videos of me doing similar, but I'm a big supporter of leveraging flash fill when in doubt. So if you just started going down this list with, oh, maybe it's not going to work there, but if you might have to sort of massage it a little bit. But if you start going with a pattern, flash fill very often will pick that up. It's a great place if you're stuck in these sorts of problems because Excel will then try and help you out if you can't work out what the right function to use is. So it's a great way. I use it in some of my XLOOKUP only solves to get around things I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And then, as you say, using SUMIFs, a great function for that sort of thing. The story sort of steps up with level 6, where Harry has turned you and I and the rest of the FMWC gang into villains, stealing the buses to melt them down.
Yeah, it's true. How do you think we funded this amazing live stream, guys?
Yeah, I mean, no holds barred. That got all the studio lights. The money's got to come from somewhere. I mean, the fur coats aren't cheap for starters.
I need more fur coats, absolutely.
So this one, we were looking at how many buses actually departed. So if you had set up level 5 nicely, this fell out quite easily. But if you had set it up in a way that was a little bit more custom, you would have had a harder time with this level. In that bus timetable, we have this 1 and 0 column. So if you'd used the sum ifs approach that Giles was talking about, you could have added in an extra condition for this column. But if you'd gone down a different route, this may have been more difficult to model out.
Oh, I think maybe for level 5, I did a count ifs on the number that were just in the range that you ended up with. If it was just how many buses were scheduled, I think I did count ifs for that, and then sum ifs using the 1 and the 0 for this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It should have been count ifs on the previous one. But yeah, excellent, excellent. I can already see people getting ahead of us in the chat and talking about the very difficult level 7. I just want to stress that when it says very hard, this is very hard as brought to you from the mind of Harry Watson, where even easy tends to be quite difficult.
Yeah, but also it's worth, again, for context, we're really trying to work out where the level is for the UK Championship. We think it's right that it's not all as hard as the Worlds, but also we've got to have some difficulty in some of the questions that keep some of the more experienced players kind of on their toes a little bit. So I don't know. I think our gut feel is kind of right with this. There'll be some easier levels so that everybody can get some points on the board if you're quite new to this. And then there will be some levels that make you absolutely lose your mind and swear at your laptop, like I may or may not have done when I was trying to do level 7.
Yeah, I think I have a few choice messages from you on my WhatsApp as you were trying that earlier. I can see in the chat Dr. Kaza saying that if I had a brain, I would have submitted when I'd finished at 20 minutes at level 6 and not fought with level 7. I feel you. When I was testing this case, I was in a similar position. I think I was feeling quite confident and quite good, and then sunk a lot of time into trying to solve level 7, and I wouldn't have finished it in the time scale if I were doing it live. So I think no stress to anyone. If you got through any of the levels, you've done really well. Doing level 7 is a real stretch, I think, even for the top people in the timescale.
I agree. Then we know how good the top players are, so they are capable, I think, of potentially doing it. But that is a hard case level, even I guess for the pros in the world competition. But we want to make sure people get the chance to get some points on the board. If you know a few core functions, and yeah, that hopefully we've got it right.
Yeah, excellent. We talk through the bonuses really quickly then, and then try and pull Harry into the chat. So the first one was how many buses actually turn up. That's a variation on that level 6 level.
Yeah.
So you can just do a nice sum of that entire turns up thing. Yeah. If that were trues and falses, how would you go about it, Giles?
Or are you trying to catch me out?
No, I'm not trying to catch you out at all.
If it were trues and falses, what would I do?
Yeah, if just for the sake of people at home, I'm just trying to think. If this said like false, true, true.
I mean, you could do a count ifs on the trues. You could add another column and convert the trues and falses to 1s and 0s, and then add them up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of cases. The reason I bring it up is I think there's a lot of cases and a lot of data structures, both in these sorts of competitions and in the real world, where you do have false and trues. And I think very often people get caught out with using them because they're a little bit of a weird data type, a slightly different data type. But yeah, there's loads of ways you could do that. As you say, I think you were saying you do something just to turn it into 1s and 0s, like that, or you could use that unary thing, the double negative on it, to turn it into trues and falses, or I think even your 1 times approach would do the same. But I always find 0s and 1s easier to work with for these kinds of things, so it's good to have a good number of ways of sort of changing that across.
You literally just do, seeing as we're doing this live, could you literally just point to the array and then do ×1 against the array and sum that? I'm assuming you probably could.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing in that one there. So, I mean, it's only using those top 3, but
yeah, sum that.
Yeah, and that should then work. I mean, let's extend that one down. Here we go,
This is
live moving, folks.
Yeah, I always find this whenever I have my attempt, or I say whenever, I've only been playing this year, and then I watch like Dim or Hayden or others or Bo, and you just look at it and you go, oh my God, they find ways to do things 10 times quicker than you that are so simple. I guess that comes with practice.
No, absolutely. I think the flexibility in this competition is a real skill to be mastered. Flexibility and the time constraints. I know one of the things I found hardest in these competitions is the time and letting go of things being repeatable and things being perfect. It just has to work for the data you've got, and I think that's something you've come up against as well.
Yeah, some of the people in the chat are basically giving the right answers, which is where we eventually ended up. Like, you could do sum brackets minus, and then the range reference, which definitely feels like the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah. Also, some good notes that I was hiding a column that I was talking about because of our video overlays. Thank you for calling that out. Cool. So we had some questions on the postcodes where you had to find which one had 6 that turned up. And then we took our stolen buses and turned them into telephone boxes and sold them on the black market. That was fun.
Yeah.
Again, this one sounds like it's more complicated than it actually is, I think. Essentially, you just want to find all the ones that didn't turn up, and then each one of those can turn into 5 telephone boxes, which are worth £10,000 each. So if you can spot how to change those zeros into ones and those ones into zeros, or a countive 0, any of those approaches to get the number of buses, it's then an arithmetic sort of approach.
And then the last two I can't help you with because I got so annoyed with level 7 and my inability to solve it. I gave up.
Yeah, I mean that last one was really quite difficult because I'm not really a financial background. I think I got there in the end with some help from Harry Gross, using some formula he gave me, but was not one that I was used to. But essentially, I think it was to do with having a ratio of the new price and the original price, and then having that to the power of 1 over the number of years. But I'm not a financial person. I don't have a financial background. I will leave that to the experts. I think Harry is ready to join us to give us some overview of the case himself. So let's head over to welcome Harry onto the stream.
As we welcome him on, we should say, anybody in the chat, if you would like to leave your messages to Harry Watson, please do, and we'll read some of them out.
Absolutely. Any messages, any questions, please give them. Harry, welcome. I can already see a lot of praise for this case, and a lot of people muttering under their breath about how quickly that difficulty ramped up at the end.
Well, I thought that we needed. We're going to. I didn't really know how to pitch the difficulty of this one, and so really the idea was to have the majority of the case being quite a nice introduction to the UK chapter. Some people not having competed in esports before, but having something at the end that was going to allow people to get their teeth into something and keep them amused and entertained for the whole half hour, ideally. And so that's whilst having a large number of different techniques being involved across this case that are naturally going to come up again and again in UK and worldwide cases.
Absolutely. Lots of chat about it in the live chat. Lorenzo says, top-notch creativity in full British style. We've got people saying that they used a combination of data tables and goal seek for that level 7 to try to get to a level. Really great case. You've now released 2 cases for FMWC UK because one of your other cases was our initial free test case that was called A Right Royal Battle Part 1. Anyone that's not checked it out, you can grab it for free at the website to go give it a go. That's quite a worrying title, Part 1, given how much the difficulty has stepped up for this one. Are we expecting another difficulty step up for a Part 2 at some stage?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Fantastic. We've got lots of people in the chat talking about trying to use Copilot. Lots of love for the theme. Really great feedback. So is there anything
theme's fantastic. I just wanted to ask Harry, where did level 7 come from in particular? How did you come up with that bit of creativity?
Well, at work I often have to do calculations which involve calculating distances between different things. So I thought well, why not here add in a little bit of complexity in the sense that you're not only having to look up a larger pool of things, but then also calculate some distances and use the distance formula for that. In this case, it's nice and simple. We're just using eastings and northings from the, I think I called it Ordnance Questionnaire locations. So it was just something fairly applied, but something to allow people to get their teeth into more the geography and the topography of how everything fits together.
Just to totally tangent, Neil Foot has said in the chat, Harry just needs to be stroking a cat on his lap as he says this. I only mention that because I think you could make that happen, couldn't you? Don't you have a
I
cat?
could make that happen, although I'd have to pop off for about 20 seconds and drag the cat quick, kicking and screaming up from where she's sleeping at the moment.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it was worth the 20 seconds, maybe not of the distress of your cat. That's fine. We'll leave that.
I think that's fair enough. I do notice you mentioned relatively simple northing and easting. I'm going to pick you up on that. I don't think it's relatively simple at all. I know what you mean in that you're just adding it onto things, but it did have me scratching my head for a moment when I was looking at it. I also
It's good
think
to scratch your head sometimes.
it is good to scratch
I
your
mean,
head. Yeah. I mean, it makes my hair all big.
These cases are meant to provide you with massage.
That has transformed my thinking about your cases, Harry. Now, anytime I'm stressed about a Harry Watson case, I know it's just Harry giving me a massage.
Exactly.
Slightly
I'm just doing it
disturbing.
out of the kindness of my heart, Elliott.
Yeah. There is a content issue here, which is I don't know how many people in London are willing to walk 45 minutes.
Well, it's
they all
character
are,
building.
surely.
I mean, out in the
I was gonna
provinces where
say.
I live, we walk places.
Well,
But
there we go.
45. Well, I'm fairly sure the default setting on TFL, if you want to include walking, is 45 minutes. The last time I checked, the journey planner on there anyway. I don't know if that's changed, so it's not completely unreasonable in that respect.
There we go. We've got some notes from Excel and Finance, which I think is Hayden Wiseman, saying that he realised you didn't even need the 100,000 and 500,000 on the easting and northing. You could just skip that a little bit and use the numbers itself. Was that a deliberate extra bit of information, or has he found a shortcut that none of us have spotted?
It was. I wanted to give the full picture because those are actually the distances east and north of the false origin that the Ordnance Questionnaire uses to tabulate locations of places up and down this great isle of ours. But no, you don't need 100,000s at all because you're going over London, which is not a very big area.
Absolutely. No, I think brilliant case. I think, is there anything we're missing that you want to talk us through about this case? Anything anyone may have missed in terms of Easter eggs? I know there's some great names here on these bus names.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose that the first thing is, yes, I've tried to incorporate some Excel functions in there. Not particularly otherwise, so far as that's concerned. I'm sorry to say that it's not entirely accurate that in terms of bus numbers being linked to places. There was some fabrication in there, just because that information might have been even more difficult to find.
I will say, in general, your cases have a commitment to accuracy that I don't see elsewhere, which I love.
I want to give everyone who does my cases something besides Excel. I mean, for instance, in the case 0 right royal battle, all the information that was presented in there was accurate. It wasn't entirely complete, but it was the best I could do. There wasn't anything false in there as far as I was aware. Here there's a little bit more, but ideally if we can perhaps indoctrinate some of our worldwide players into British history and culture at the same time, that can only be a good thing.
You say that, I think I learned a couple of things about our history from A Right Royal Battle Part 1 myself, and I born and raised here.
Yeah, I reminded myself that you can't use certain date functions before 1900, but it took me 10 minutes to remember that, which was frustrating. It's an awesome case, Harry. I'm also conscious we should probably just mention the rest of the season for everybody watching. So this is round 1. We've got 2 more virtual rounds coming up, and we are leading towards in-person finals in September in London. I think it's 32 finalists we're going to get down to, and the winner of the UK chapter, we will fly out to Vegas, put them up in the Luxor for the World Finals. So the winner of the UK will literally represent the UK at the World Finals in December, which is going to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah, really excited for that. It's a great event, a great thing to be able to do, and the fact we're able to send the winner over to Vegas is even better. I think I am hearing that we are ready to move to some scores. Unless there's anything else you want to tell us, Harry, before we do?
I think we can head to the scores. I think we've got everything ready now.
Excellent.
Some pretty good scores today as well.
Excellent. Let's head on over to the scores.
Let's see the scores. I'm intrigued. Oh, here we go. Okay. Wow, that's fantastic. So the top, well, actually more than just the top 7, but everybody that's qualified getting over 1,000 points, which I'm trying to work out whether that means they've got at least partial answers to level 7. I think it must,
I think
isn't it?
level 7 was marks out of 200. So I think 1050 is everything bar level 7, but it'll obviously vary in the case of individual players.
Amazing.
That would make a lot of sense.
Just to clarify for everyone at home, this is the UK-based players, and the top 7 from today, which are those highlighted in blue, have qualified to that live final in September. So Ben, Neil, Daryl, Sean, David, Kareem, and Ha have all qualified to that live final. So congrats to you. Closely followed. I mean, look at those points. Some fantastic points there.
Yeah.
Blown out of the water how good these scores are. Chris, Julie, Lara, Arnold, Hayden, Will, all scoring 1,000 points or more. And then even David, Julian, Thomas, Amando, Fawn, James, Jackson, scoring over 900 points in this case is a fantastic result. I hope you're all really happy with that.
And I'm so chuffed with that, because I think that now makes even the more experienced competitors, it just, it gives them a little bit of pressure in the sense that, it's not going to be a walk in the park to get through to the finals, or even to potentially win the finals as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I can see in the chat that Ben says what got them over the line to that top spot was a bit of guesswork on level 7. I think also 2 of those top 7 are Operis based contenders. They're in the Operis.
Who said that? Michael Jarman said that famous Canadian in the chat.
Yeah.
Jarman. Lord.
Excellent.
I
think we may be having a couple of issues on some of the other tabs, so we're just going to hang fire for a minute. Oh, so there we go. That's our full list of qualifiers. That at the minute, that is the same 7 we saw on that other screen. As the season goes on, the top 7 from round 2 will be joining them, and the top 7 from round 3 as well. So round 2 is in 2 months' time, in June, and then the last one in August. And here we go. This is the worldwide results. So this is everybody UK-based or elsewhere. Flags for the UK-based people. Liana has got some artifact on her name there, but Liana has smashed that out the park, yet again defeating Diamond early. Add that to her list of achievements. Anders, another strong worldwide competitor. Diamond, Ben Gutcher, John Waller, Peter Schall, fantastic international competitors we already know. Lots of names we see there, but that UK result, very strong. What are you seeing there on that screen, Giles?
Just as ever with the top pros, I mean, the fact that anybody could almost get a perfect score with that level 7 in 30 minutes is utterly mind-blowing to me. So yeah, huge kudos to everybody on that entire screen, to be honest.
And I think for those UK based people as well, the fact that they're only level 7 away from getting a perfect score, not a lot of other points left to get. so close to matching one of those. It'll be interesting to see where those points for Ben and Dim are coming from. I'm guessing from the fact that Dim's got 1,186 points, that he's probably got some partial solutions for that level 7. I can see another Operis person in that top 20 down on that international link. But yeah, a great result, some really strong scores.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, again, for the people that are competing for the first time, the people that are kind of at the top of this leaderboard, most of these men and women have been doing this for a long time, and it really does come down to a mixture of kind of training and experience with these battles. So don't be disheartened if you were nowhere near this points total. It's a tough competition, and I can say that from experience now. So just keep at it. And I still think this is some of the most innovative and fun Excel training you can get under your belt in any situation.
Absolutely. Fantastic results. I'm really pleased to see what a great turnout, both for the competition, the scores, but also here on the live stream. So much support, and it's so great to see. We've got some great things in the chat. Lots of people congratulating Liana on a smashing victory. People congratulating Operis. I'm just having a look through that chat to see what else we can pick
Operis
out.
21 years. Good Lord. Well done. That's cool.
Excellent. And lots of people saying they loved that theme. So well done, Harry. And yeah, fantastic result. Really excited. This is a great start to the UK season. I don't think we could have asked for anything better. So really looking forward to see what comes next.
Yeah, we've got more British themes. So thank you, everybody that's watching, everybody that's supported, everybody that's bought a season ticket. We really appreciate it. Obviously, we want this to be a really nice kind of starting point for people in the UK to then build up their skill, their confidence, and to start competing in the world as well. Dim said it all over the place. This is a real golden age if you're an Excel geek like all of us. There's so much out there. There are so many opportunities to test yourself, to try different things. So please do kind of keep getting stuck in with us. And I think it's going to be an amazing season.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to see what comes next. I think there's some final verification of answers and scores to go on our end, just to make sure that everything's correct. And the final publication of the full standing of scores will be being posted on our website shortly. There will be an email coming round to everyone that's taken part with a full set of the answers, and that will also have a link to where you can find those full results. I think all that's left to do is to say thank you. So thank you, Harry, for writing the case and joining. Thank you to the FMWC UK team for setting this all up and for getting through this. And thank you, Giles.
What, for making another banging tune?
I
took
mean,
a lot of time and effort.
I didn't think
Oh, was
you
there a
could
song?
top. I don't think you could top.
Was there a song, Harry?
Was there a song?
Harry!
You've got to get on the live stream now because you're going to hear it one more time, I think. It's a fantastic... I didn't think you could get better than the Excel World Championship theme
I
song.
knew there was a song, but I was
But the
looking
UK
on
one's
behalf of the audience. They're not aware there's about to be a song.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. Let's say goodbye
Enjoy the
and hear
weekend.
that UK theme one more time.
Yes, thanks everyone. Bye.
It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? It's the battle of the Titans, the best keyboard tappers in the land. They've all been training for this moment. Who's getting stuck in the function sand? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? Leanna's
Can't win because she's not resident in the UK, but can take part and have a lot of fun.
Jack is on the hunt. Will
London.
be her new peak. It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin? Excel on the shirt. Leanna's on a win streak.
Not in the UK, she's not.
Jack is on the hunt.
She's actually organising this competition, but it doesn't matter.
Will Vegas be her new peak? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who is going to win? It's the Excel
UK.
Championship. Who's going in the spreadsheet bin?
Ha 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 ha.